Is someone
record it.
taking notes?
I can,
Thanks, Art.
I'm recording.
Jen, our expert note taker.
yeah.
I'm recording.
Okay.
All
Be
right.
careful what you say.
Oh, okay. Mark's on the phone.
We don't like that.
And Ralph is amazed us with his presentation and drawings and so forth, and pictures. So take it away, Ralph, about those two, and then the two options, or the one option the latest option, let me put it that
Does
way.
anybody want to look at the layout? I just want to go
Yeah.
through it as
Yep,
quick.
yep,
Yeah, I just want to go through it as quickly as I can.
I've seen this.
It's not a very popular concept, so.
Oh, hey, Bill, you're
Well,
here.
don't-
I just
no.
noticed that. Thanks for coming up.
Don't be negative, okay.
No, this has been it's a challenge to think through this.
Okay, the whole topic is, do we really want to do the glass curve in the corner? And that's what all this stuff addresses. Is it a good deal, or does it, okay, anyway, number one, rather than solve the bottleneck, the CWC, called the clear window curve, just moves the bottleneck elsewhere. 5 foot, it's still, according to Bill, who was nice enough to send this to me, it shows at the bottom it's 5 foot. It's still a bottleneck dimension, so it's not better. It also creates a 15-foot glass wall, exposure to the sanctuary, which is the 15 feet of possible sound and movement distraction to people in the sanctuary. This wall also reduces space in the sanctuary with no advantage to the sanctuary. It really doesn't blend with the building. I know Bill likes it because it matches the curve around the office, but it really, I mean, it's a visual thing. It's not it doesn't provide any advantage. It also, on the piece of paper I handed out, it shows that the aisle goes virtually dead. This one here, everybody's gonna use this, and no one's gonna go like this. No one's gonna take a left turn or a right turn to get into the sanctuary. So those are basically negatives. Then, moving on to the hall entry alternative, that is cheaper. You take out the window, turn it into an entry. It's at the rear of the building, so it provides very little disturbance. I don't know, it's over there, Pastor Katie, could you point at it? It's that one right there. And two pews would come out, but one could stay against the back wall. And that would cost less risk to the structure doing the building compared to the curb. It would relieve the bottleneck, the existing bottleneck, because as it says here, 80% of the people coming in would be able to use that and just totally avoid the 5-foot bottleneck. 15%, I assume, come in from the parking lot in the northeast corner, and 5% come in the front doors. So it's like we're helping 80% of the people with a shortcut right into the sanctuary, at the back of the sanctuary. And let's see, what else? It's more convenient. The front entry has chairs in the way and doors in the way. This is just a walk-through, walk-in, walk-out. And Pastor Katie could just as easily stand there by that door and greet people coming and going. Or, people have two choices to come in and leave, compared to one with this glass curve business. And so in conclusion, the visual appeal of the glass wall is much better, of course, but it doesn't really have any advantages, in my opinion. And the hall entry access has advantages, moving people, but is less visually appealing. The end.
Thank you, Ralph. Are there any questions for Ralph?
Can I offer
You bet, speak up, Mark.
So my opinion is a little different. I think with the curb wall, it addresses the bottleneck substantially. And I offer as evidence my experience as a teenager working on a farm, with pigs and cows.
I know, I hate being compared to pigs.
And anytime there was a herd and you had to move from point A to point B, even with obstacles in the center of the pathway, they just naturally flowed around the obstacle on either side.
But they don't talk to one another either. They have no conversation.
I think people,
They're not
will
socialist
naturally
interests.
flow around both sides of the coast. The other thing in terms of the door, here's my worry, and then I'll let Pastor Katie comment on this, because it affects her. With the side exit there, I think there will be people after every service who will bypass, get going past the pastor and any dignitaries that are there for the morning greeting. And I suspect that morning greeting, brief as it is a little bit of an opportunity for a check-in. And some folks, I suspect, will just exit through the side door, some purposefully, because they actually want to bypass the greeting, which I don't think is a positive thing. And I think especially for visitors, they might get a little confused. Well, I'm a visitor. Should I go through the greeting line? Should I not go through the greeting line?
Well,
So I think it actually has some downsides. So that's.
let me show you one, and my favorite picture up there is just turned out by accident. Here's God's hand directing people into the. There used to be a minister there, but
Yeah.
he fell out.
We fell out, these things happen, no, I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Were there?
Thanks,
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Was there anybody else?
Well, I sent out an email this morning, I was a little late on that, but I was glad to see Jen weighed in, and we heard some things about that. As much as I love your creativity, Ralph, I like the curved glass wall better. I worry about, because I think that the open hole in the wall is noisy and problematic. I think that having an alternative entrance and exit is confusing and distracting.
Yes.
I think that having one central entrance is important symbolically for flow. Remember when we were talking about putting the ramp in, which we're someday still gonna do, and it's gonna be the Ralph Holman, entrance. But how we talked about having one entrance, even for wheelchairs and caskets, as symbolic of how we all use the same way in, which leads toward the cross. I think you're right, if we had an open hole in the wall without doors, all kinds of people would use that, very few people use back, which would mean that this back entrance would no longer even pretend to be our main entrance, which I think would be a big loss symbolically and spiritually. I mean, what are we gonna have to do? The bride's gonna come through the side door now? The casket's gonna come through the side door?
She got two choices.
This,
I forgot to include on here that there's a welcome sign, sanctuary sign, and also a flashing light here. Quiet, please.
I think I like the flashing light even least well.
Quiet, please.
Yeah, no,
On the air.
I think if we hired Pastor Balster to stand there and say shh for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
it might work, but otherwise, I just don't see
How
it.
do you like, does this appeal to you visually? I mean, what does that, what does that tell you? Who did this? Who did this to my building?
I
What is up
think
here?
we have a very creative architect who has given us a vision
That's
and light,
challenging.
who knows some things about what works.
In case of a national emergency, 2 exits is much better than 1 exit.
Well, we actually have 3. We've
Yeah,
got this
we have
one, the
3
front
then.
one, and the side, no, we've got the back, there's 2 exits in the back. There's a single door and a double door in the back.
Are we talking about the sanctuary?
Yeah, currently, there are 3 doors. There's this one, and that one.
Oh, yeah, okay, but they finally, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have it.
Thanks,
We
Pastor.
have another one.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Is there any other comment?
I like the curb.
Why?
I like the
Tell me
light
why.
of being allowed
Just tell me
in.
why.
And
That really sucks.
Camille, I talked to Camille this morning when she told me she couldn't come,
Right.
and she said to reiterate that she likes the curb.
Thank you.
So it's good that
I
you have
have-
a reason though behind your choice.
I'll give you mine again.
Okay.
I gave you mine, but I'm gonna give it again. First of all, Ralph, you're really among friends, and we really appreciate what you've done here. It really has helped me decide, it's always good to have an alternative, make a decision, between 2 things. And the way this, I tell you how my evil mind works. And I got one of these from Bill. I didn't know what, I know I liked what, I liked one function, but I didn't know why until I was talking to Bill about being here today. The reason this came up really is because of this narrow
Yes.
chute.
That's what started the whole thing.
That's what started the whole thing,
Exactly.
which is that 5 feet.
5 feet
Now we got 5 feet here, and we have 5 feet here,
with a post in the middle
with a post in the
to
middle.
run into.
To run into. But we've doubled the space. 5 feet. and 5
Theoretically, it's double, yeah.
Except for, and this is wider here too.
That still exists, yeah.
This is the narrow place, but it's wider
It has
than
not
5 feet.
widened,
It's wider.
you think so?
Yeah, it's wider than.
I measured it, I think it's 6 feet. But that.
Yeah, it's another foot
Yeah.
rather than 5 feet.
But still a bottleneck.
Indeed. So that this is not perfect.
Right.
It's not
Right, I
perfect,
agree.
and no one,
Yeah,
and you pointed that out clearly. So, the other thing here that was bothering me was this space here, where this door would be, is smaller than this space. So,
If that becomes the new
we're about
narthex.
1, 2, 3, it's at least 3 times bigger in the narthex. And our ecclesiastical assistant, you're number 1, you're number 2, is that there is a reason for a narthex and the use of the narthex of approaching the nave. And the pastor pointed out that you approach the nave and the cross from here, rather than, I mean, that's where I am.
If you come through the wall, you're right there too.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, but you're looking across at the window.
Only briefly.
Oh, yeah.
Till you turn right.
Sure, I understand, right. So that we all know, really, at this point, I think of all the decisions we've made, this is pretty clear in everybody's mind what it is, yours and everybody else's. So, your presentation was good, and we thank you for that. I'm still gonna go with the glass. And there's the glass, you pointed out one thing in your presentation too, that the glass opens this thing up.
To noise and distraction, yes.
Well, no, I don't think it's a noise or distraction. I think it opens it up for light and
15 feet of
it looks
glass.
bigger.
You were talking 15 feet of glass here, not,
Yeah.
we're not talking
Yeah.
6 feet like my, through the wall.
Great. No, I understand. And everybody has their view, and at this point, should we have a consensus?
Yes, please.
Please.
So I can shut up.
Well, we have Camille,
We've-
Pastor, up on the, I don't think anybody else supports it, so we have a consensus
We
of
do.
sticking with this.
Yes.
We have a
Amen.
consensus.
Can I vote?
Of
can I
course.
vote in favor of just?
You'd like to have it open, and we understand, for the record.
In case I be proven wrong.
And let me put it to, the committee one and all, thanks you, Ralph.
Oh.
We love you like a brother.
Gives me something to do.
Okay, thank you, everybody, so it's a real clear choice, and I think we'll all be happy. And Ralph, you'll get over it. I'll come over and sit next to you, we'll, you can tell me then. Anyway.
I'm just gonna come tonight crashing.
Great. All right, moving on. Bill, the number one issue besides Ralph's presentation is what we know about the village and what's the latest on that.
I really can't inform you too much more. When I delivered and then followed up with emails, the same response was we hope to get it back with you within 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that was a week ago Tuesday, right? So, at this point, next week, for sure.
If their statement, we hope to get back with it. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think they shut down though too, because of that, they were shut down.
Yeah. Well-
And there's no guarantee they're gonna say, and it's done, go. They might say, oh,
They might
and
get
fix
4
these
more
other 5
questions.
things.
I suspect they will not say it's done and go. I think they'll generally say, yeah, there's 4 things to follow, but that, hopefully that's within 2 days, we can turn that type of thing around.
Okay.
Bill got this set of drawings off that was a submittal, but he also was a response. I'll just show you Bill's response, which is pretty complete. You know, it's not, we're gonna have to go through this, Bill, but you know, the questions, the remarks, the answer, I mean, their comments and the answer in each one of these 80 or whatever they were is. No, the answers are very complete. There are a lot of answers, but, I mean, to make, and a lot of corrections to make, which is unfortunate. But there it is, and so it's all back in there. It's the shape that we can be in. The answers are there, and then I read through it. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. It's complex, but the presentation's simple,
And then
straightforward.
just to follow up on that, we did work together with Troop. We got some follow-up information on the application, so that should be complete. The village asked us for a zoning compliance, and I went through that, which then they asked for certificates and schedules and logistics plans, which we had provided, and then also, you don't have it here, I provided for them worksheets and calculations for square footages and everything of the whole facility. If you recall, we were requested to do exiting analysis and plumbing analysis on not just what we were working on, but what was existing.
Yeah.
So,
And that's been added to the drawings too.
Right.
All of that, as you go through here, there's a lot of information in these drawings. And then there's, I don't know what that certificate is, but there was also, Tom had gone through the Flag Creek sewage disposal system, but that's all part of this.
Right.
And so, all of that, as far as we know, as far as I can tell, as far as obviously Bill's submittal, everything is there for them to work on, and that's the plus. We're not waiting for anything, we're just waiting for them.
But I think this is a good point, because I think we have been as transparent as anyone could possibly be. I mean, showing all of our work, giving everything to them, to make it easier for them, responding to 81, comments, questions, changes, and I too, from, more commercial things, you almost never get a clean, okay, 81 questions, all solved, and just go ahead. It doesn't mean they won't say you can proceed with getting started on your work, but there might be 4, 5, 7 more, items that we have to address. Hopefully, it's not adding to the timetable. Hopefully, it's something that, the next question I was gonna have is, from the moment that you hear that, okay, we're almost there, 4 more things, and we can get them done in 3 or 4 days. Could we then start, could we have crews here starting to work in that time? So,
Well, we won't get out in front of it a little bit, and part of that is just due to Eric's coming off of a job now, right? So he's been slated for this job, so, and when you've gone through, you've got some things in your mind, a plan in mind when you're gonna start coming out here, right? So we got some things to bring out here first, even before the permit even happens, right? So we're gonna basically kind of do a soft mobilization with the construction fence, the dumpster, some of the temp panel walls, you know. Eric's got-
Various supplies.
Eric's got a big air scrubber that cleans the air as the construction's going. You know, just carts, you know, get some laid out areas and things like that. And were you thinking
That's
the
great.
first week of
So it's
February
all
here
set,
coming
Yeah,
up?
probably, yeah.
That's good.
I don't think we want to get into the major demo of things until the drawings are complete, because you never know what could change.
He can have the electrician and the plumber out for a pre-construction site visit, you know, so
Yeah.
that, you know, hey, when I give you the call, you're gonna come out here and you know exactly what you're
Yeah.
gonna do day one, things like that.
That's good.
That we
And,
prepare
and
for.
so, and Eric, I think you're right that we shouldn't actually start demolishing anything.
Right.
Because it might irritate them and they come out and give us a stop work order and that would just delay us further.
And sometimes it takes almost just as long to discuss what you're going to demo with everybody than actually doing the demo, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. So if we can get some of those discussions, like Brian mentioned, done quicker beforehand, then we, like you said,
Well, that's
just
good,
get in
because
here and
these are all
start
things
doing
that
it.
have to happen.
Yes, they have to
We're trying
happen,
get
yes.
going on them anyway, so that by the time we finally have approval, then, you know, within 5 minutes, we're actually, you know, not.
We got the
Yes.
check, we got the check.
Yes.
We did the check from you guys, cause they'll email us usually to tell us, okay, you can pick up
Frankly,
your
what
check,
you should
here's,
do
or
is
you can
the
pick up your
committee
permit,
might
here's the
want
check.
to get
you
a
need.
sledgehammer so that the minute we are allowed, we all get to smash.
Right when he
something.
tapes it up
Just
on the
wait
glass.
there.
Just let us
Wind
smash
up.
something.
Yeah, the guy will be right there, Eric will tape it to the window and
Brian,
just
can I
have the
ask
first
a
swing.
question? Can I ask a
Tell them,
question?
wrong window, gotta move it. Go ahead, Rob.
Just briefly back to the curve, are you pretty confident that this can be pulled off without any structural surprises?
Right, we shore it for, but we do needle shoring or, you know, we've got that all figured
There's
and
nothing
planned, right,
hidden
so.
in there that you're not prepared for?
I think we've all really done a lot of investigatory demo and looking at the existing drawings, I think we're pretty confident. We do have to set up temporary shoring to, you know,
Mhm.
to do the structural, the whole
Good,
structure up
okay,
in
you're
place until.
confident that this will work,
Yeah, yeah,
that's all.
It's not gonna be easy, but it'll work.
Yeah.
yeah.
Before we get into this, we want to turn the floor over a minute to you and Eric and John and whatever for questions about this. But Pastor Katie has had concerns, and there's a lot, we know now that there's a growing anxiety, and am I correct on saying that, among members? Because, you know, we keep going in. I don't think that's out of the ordinary at all, but there is anxiety about starting, and because there's not, for all the good reasons, there's no information that we can really tell them other than we're waiting, and that type of thing. And so, it boils down to really three things. One of them is the pads that we've known about. One of them is the upcoming weddings. Of course, we have the Easter issues and those the regular operational issues. And what am I missing?
Here's our-
The voting.
Yeah.
The voting. Now, the voting business is April. Until we get a, was it April?
So Redeemer is the voting site for 4 precincts.
Mhm,
And there is a major referendum in Hinsdale that has failed once.
mhm.
And if it fails again, they cancel all kinds of things at the high school. And
Oh, that one.
that one.
Yeah,
I've
my
heard about that
sister-in-law
one.
teaches in Hinsdale, so
Yeah.
it's a big
And
deal.
it's
Yeah.
a big
It's a big
deal.
deal.
Get a lot of people in here for that.
Well, we usually get about 1,000 people in
Yeah.
for voting for national elections. I would suspect that, so they've asked us, and I had Connie say, or Connie and Tom weighed in, and we really thought, gosh, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. And I
Open it,
just am
okay.
envisioning all these people coming to church, because nobody checks that stuff until they come to vote, saying, wait a minute, this isn't my voting site? Well, I've gotta make my train, so I'm not voting. And then I see that Redeemer Lutheran Church has blown the District 86.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is there
The optics could look bad.
anything we can do? Well, not even just that, I mean, I feel a responsibility as a community, I mean, I would do everything in my power if there's no way we can do it.
Yeah.
Is there really no way we can do it, I guess is my question. The other thing that I've been thinking about is now that I have become wiser about permits than I have ever hoped to be, I'm now worried about the other end and the occupancy permit. It's one thing if I push back pads 3 weeks. it's another if it's 2 months.
Yeah.
And if I'm pushing it back 2 months, that's a real, I mean, I have to be so far ahead of that. I'm wondering if we have to rethink our plan and start upstairs and finish downstairs when the season's over. I don't know what the cost, the benefit, I'm just saying that if I can't have a shelter in here till August, that's going to be bad for the project.
These are all good points, so.
Yeah, so with all those concerns, which I probably can't tick off again in the same order, the new one is just voting, but it's 1 day.
But we need the elevator.
Can that be,
So
How does it work? How does that-
They usually vote down here, and I'm not opposed to having them vote up
So
here,
they come in,
but they have to use the
how do they get in
elevator.
and out? Is it just?
Yeah, it's that entrance,
Sure.
because that's the only accessible entrance we have.
Mhm.
So while it's not a lot of people that use the elevator, it's one of the expectations of the site. And because we don't know what the weather is like, it's like this first weekend in April,
April 2nd.
yeah.
Can a goose put,
Yeah,
be
are
put
you-
by the door?
I mean,
inside
there
the
may be
door?
things they can
There
do,
must
I
be
don't know,
something
but
to
I'm
put
just,
there.
Are you thinking parish room?
yeah. But that's where the offices are, I know. So
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
what do
the
we do?
offices are-
Maybe the offices are not
Well,
there.
We'll just
The
have
thing
to,
about-
I
yeah.
mean, it depends how.
Eric's
important
the
it is.
master of working in and around the occupied buildings
Well,
and making
yeah. So
things
I-
work, it's.
Pads is a whole nother thing.
I know.
But
This
the-
is
the
still
voting, I think
1,000
if-
people.
I think we can make that happen for you.
typically it's a few voting booths,
Well,
right?
it's
'Cause you
1
put-
day. It's one,
Well,
well,
yeah,
what, how many booths do we have?
Usually
I
about
don't
8, something
Yeah.
like that, and
Can
then
they-
there's a
can they go
check-in
downstairs?
table.
Fine.
They usually go downstairs, this is where they usually vote.
I mean, just aesthetics wise, you're probably gonna see some construction, but it will all be safe, everything will be picked up, they're gonna be walking through glue or anything. I think we can make that happen, we'll just plan it the
In the
day
parish.
before, I'll plan ahead and we'll all talk and I think we can do that.
Or wherever, upstairs or down.
The
But
issue will
it-
be having access to that
Yeah,
entrance.
the
Yeah,
thing
that's
is,
fine,
we're thinking about, it's important in my mind, it's 1 day.
yes,
It's 1 day. Maybe we stop 1 day,
sure.
take a holiday for one. I don't, there's some possibilities again. So
Those
how
stairs
soon,
will- those-
how soon do we have to tell?
Well,
I don't want to tell
They
anybody
just sent us their
anything
second
until we get a
email
permit.
saying, are you really? And on Tuesday, the staff said to Cindy, I don't think we can. I don't know if she's made the call, because Wednesday we were closed. But I can tell her to say, we're on, we're gonna make it work.
Or when do we have to tell you?
Yeah, or when do we have to tell you?
Well, the parish room
I
should
wouldn't
be,
want to tell anybody anything until we have a permit, because that really,
So the real
Yeah.
issue with parish room is that it depends on when the offices move and where we move them to.
you know, and it's.
Can I ask a question?
You bet, Mark, go ahead.
So I'm just looking at the most recent schedule that Troop sent us. And if we did move the voting upstairs, I'm just looking at the schedule, it says that demolition doesn't even start on the main level until May. I haven't looked at the bathroom, segment yet, but,
right, and that's kind of what,
presumably we don't have to have bathrooms for the voting.
that's what I was alluding to. I mean, we should have that beam in the corner of the nave by April. So that should be not a problem to funnel, like Eric's saying, we should be able to funnel those guys right through into the parish room, I would think at that point upstairs.
And if worse comes to worse, we'll get.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, sure.
If you've got a sister-in-law in 86, she
Yes.
wants to.
Yeah, she's a firecracker, so, you know.
She's for it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's at athletics.
Athletics.
Yeah, she is that, yeah, she's, yeah.
Yeah, with an abundance of caution, my instinct is not to tell anybody anything till we have a permit, but see how long, how long we have to take a position. If we have to take a position today, the answer is, in my mind, we don't know, but we think in 2 weeks we'll know. I mean, that's what is realistic, but.
Anytime you have options, and in my head, I'm thinking of the options, anytime you have options, you kind of lower the risk on things, and I know that our vestibule stairs are the last thing, and that's like in June, so I mean, if anything, we're not even touching this vestibule area
Okay,
until that time. Anyway,
Okay.
so if we need to still bring people in and downstairs, we can,
Right.
because that hasn't been worked on yet.
okay.
If that's not the case, then there's always the possibility of coming in here